A James Island woman recently came home to a freshly dug ditch in the middle of her front yard, but she didn't know who did it or why. So she called the Count on 2 investigators, and tonight, News 2 Sophia Arizosa tracks down who dug that ditch and gets answers.
Nan Braswell has lived on James Island for more than 30 years.
Well, I don't understand why they did this. I really don't.
2 weeks ago, her front yard got a new look.
I came home and there was a huge ditch dug all the way across my yard.
Braswell says she's frustrated and angry because no one bothered to tell her the ditch would be dug.
Well, I saw some people working out there yesterday when I left, but I didn't have any idea what they were doing.
Not knowing where to turn, she called the Count on 2 investigators. Matthew Fountain is the director of the City of Charleston Stormwater Department. He says the ditches in the White House Plantation neighborhood are part of proactive maintenance.
We've said we really need to go back and bring those systems up to where they were when they were originally designed. So that's one of the best things we can do to help mitigate flooding. It's relatively low cost, it's maintenance oriented. So we've set up a schedule where we actually go neighborhood by neighborhood through the entire city, working to restore all of those ditches.
The ditches, he says, are crucial to mitigate flooding.
They take the water that falls on homes, on the streets, into those ditches, move it out to pipes or other ditches, out into the marsh eventually.
Braswell says the reasoning doesn't make sense.
I still don't understand it, because if they're doing it because of flooding, my yard has never flooded, ever.
Fountain says they're trying to stay ahead of the problem.
You really don't get like gradual warning necessarily for flooding. Often your drainage works, and then eventually it fills in enough that something blocks a pipe, whether it's a stick or a ball or any other obstruction, and suddenly you get major flooding and house floods.
As for the lack of warning, Fountain says they fell short and have made changes to ensure it doesn't happen again.
Right, we're working very hard to have this proactive system in place, and obviously there are disruptions to homeowners, and we acknowledge that. We do need to do a better job of warning people about it. However, we need to keep doing the work, because I'd much rather be talking to people about the disruption to their yard than talking to someone who basically had their home flood and lost all of their possessions because the drainage system failed. And that's where we've been for the last number of years. This is us moving in the right direction.
Braswell was not alone. Several other neighbors were confused as well, saying they are not in a flood zone. Fountain says flood zones are primarily tidal surge based, but your home can still flood because of rainfall, especially if a drainage system has a problem. Reporting in studio, Sophia Arizosa, Count on 2.
If you have something you'd like us to investigate, email the investigators at WCBD.com or call the number on your screen, 843-216-4949.